With the upcoming release of Avengers Doomsday, I thought it would be useful to make a list of top 5 movies from each MCU phase that you should watch leading up to Doomsday. Now, this list is going to be a little bit unique because I'm trying to make it for people that have both never seen a single Marvel movie and for people that have but just want to, have a quick catch up. Maybe you don't want to watch all 82 projects or however many there are. So, with that being said, I'll go through each phase, pick my top 5, list them, and probably list them in the order you should watch them, and just kind of explain why. Nothing too long, nothing too crazy, but hopefully this will help some of you out leading up to Doomsday because it's a very exciting time to be a Marvel fan, and I'm very excited to eventually see Doomsday. That being said, we'll get into it. Phase 1 is pretty easy, honestly, guys, because there's not that many movies in it. Starting out, I'm going to have to pick Iron Man. 2008's Iron Man tells the story of Tony Stark, a billionaire industrialist and genius inventor who is kidnapped and forced to build a devastating weapon. Instead, using his intelligence and ingenuity, Tony builds a high-tech suit of armor and escapes captivity. When he uncovers a nefarious plot with global implications, he dons his powerful armor and vows to protect the world as Iron Man. And this movie is very essential for multiple reasons for me. Number one, Iron Man as a character is probably the heart of the MCU, if not one of them. A lot of the things this movie establishes, even some characters and plots come back like 3 or 4 phases down the line, even still today. Not to mention, just as a whole, I think understanding the core Avengers is going to be very important for your journey and making sure you get the most out of these movies, especially Doomsday. Iron Man is the literal blueprint for the extended universe and for the MCU as a whole, so I think it's the perfect starting point. Next up, I have the Incredible Hulk, also from 2008. And in this new beginning, scientist Bruce Banner desperately hunts for a cure to the gamma radiation that poisoned his cells and unleashes the unbridled force of rage within him, the Hulk. Living in the shadows, cut off from life he knew and the woman he loves, Betty Ross, Banner struggles to avoid the obsessive pursuit of his nemesis, General Thunderbolt Ross, and the military machinery that seeks to capture him and brutally exploit his power. As all three grapple with the secrets that led to the Hulk's creation, they are confronted with a monstrous new adversary known as the Abomination, whose destructive strength exceeds even the Hulk's own. One scientist must make an agonizing final choice: accept a peaceful life as Bruce Banner, or find heroism in the creature he holds inside, the Incredible Hulk. That's the quick synopsis, and this movie is interesting because you may be surprised to watch this and then watch something like the Avengers to see that the actor has changed. And not only that, but the Hulk as a whole looks completely different as well. And it is a little bit confusing, but basically all you need to know is the events of this movie happen to Mark Ruffalo's version of the Hulk. It's the same guy, same version, just different actor, different looking Hulk when he shows up in Avengers. And I think this is also very essential because as I mentioned, the core Avengers, it's important that you understand them, but also a lot of stuff that happens in this movie does come back. Without getting into spoilers, I won't say who or what, but there is characters and plot elements that happen that you may have to wait a while for, but eventually do come back. So this one's very important for multiple reasons, kind of like Iron Man, where Marvel's really good at planting these seeds and doing these plot points where you'll see it come back later, probably when you least expect it. Third, I have Thor. As the son of Odin, king of the Norse gods, Thor will soon inherit the throne of Asgard from his aging father. However, on the day that he is to be crowned, Thor reacts with brutality when the gods' enemies, the frost giants, enter the palace in violation of their treaty. As punishment, Odin banishes Thor to Earth, while Loki, Thor's brother, plots mischief in Asgard, with Thor now stripped of his powers, facing his greatest threat. This is number one, this is just a great movie. Most of these are that I've listed, but This is also very essential for the characters it introduces. Loki, especially, I won't dive into too much, but you're going to want to pay attention to him a lot going forward. And just understanding Thor and also his journey, because Thor does have a very good, in my opinion, a very good journey, a very good path, and a lot of character development. Some for good, some for worse, or some for better, some for worse. But that being said, this movie is absolutely essential. I think it kind of goes without saying, but like I said, a lot of that I can't really get into without spoiling it. Just know this is a must-watch. I think it's really great. It's a fun time. Good fish out of water sequences, as well as just, it's also like very Shakespearean, which some people really liked, myself included. Some people, it wasn't really for them, but trust me, stick with it. Stick with Thor as a character. I think there's different points you'll find him, and I think each point has something to offer for everybody. So yeah. Fourth, I have Captain America, the First Avenger. Marvel's Captain America, the First Avenger focuses on the early days of the MCU when Steve Rogers volunteers to participate in an experimental program that turns him into the super soldier known as Captain America. This one's very, very good. Good period piece, kind of like Wonder Woman, if you've seen that from 2017, which I'm usually not a fan of, but I did like this one. A lot of the stuff it introduces, again, very essential. It's kind of crazy when you think about how much stuff the MCU introduced in this first phase, in these first few movies, that are still relevant even today. Some people see that as a negative. I see it as a positive. Hydra, very iconic villain. The Red Skull, very iconic. Hydra itself will be, I don't want to spoil anything, but yeah, just, pay attention to certain things in this movie. Captain America is another, he's arguably the other heart of the MCU if you had to pick one or two. His growth is amazing, even though he doesn't have as much as, say, like Thor. I just think seeing his journey is a lot of fun. And this early life we see from him gives us a lot of context to his motivations and things that make him do the things in the future movies, I guess, I'm trying to tiptoe around stuff. But no, either way, very good movie, very solid one. Chris Evans kills his Captain America, and it's very surprising because I thought I'd never be able to see him as anything else but the douche from Fantastic Four. Last, but certainly not least, I have The Avengers. Marvel Studios presents in association with Paramount Pictures, The Avengers, the superhero team-up of a lifetime, featuring iconic Marvel superheroes such as Iron Man, The Incredible Hulk, Thor, Captain America, which we've all talked about already. However, it also includes Hawkeye and Black Widow, which I've not touched on. When an unexpected enemy emerges that threatens global safety and security, Nick Fury, director of the international peacekeeping agency known as S.H.I.E.L.D., finds himself in need of a team to pull the world back from the brink of disaster. Spanning the globe, a daring recruitment effort begins. And thus we have our movie. And let me tell you guys, this movie rocks. When this came out, it was a very big gamble because you have to understand nothing like this has ever been done before in this genre, especially to this scale. So this was literally a trailblazer for its time. And it holds up today. The groundwork and the basic DNA of this movie, I think, goes forward throughout the rest of the MCU, especially when it comes to team-up films. Seeing the characters interact for the first time together is absolutely essential. The main battle of New York in this movie, vital to the MCU. The dynamics, the relationships they build, it's all just super important. This is the culmination of this first phase. And if you guys watch one, I would say it probably definitely has to be this one. Although, trust me, you won't get as much out of it unless you watch the other four. So I recommend tying it all together with this one. It's a great time. A lot of important elements. And again, the villain, there's just so much that comes full circle, comes back around. So definitely pay attention to your details. Like I said, they don't hold your hand per se, but they will also kind of help you get from point A to point B if you do forget some things in the future. But I'm just saying, very important movie, very great movie. I think it perfectly wraps up this phase, and that is my top 5 for the MCU Phase 1. Now, like I said, I'm not an expert. I've never claimed to be an expert, but this is just, if I were telling my friends or my wife for the first time this is what I would watch, this is the list I would give them. I will continue this for the other phases. Once we get to the point where Marvel does like TV shows, I might get a little bit dicey. I don't know if I'm going to divide it up from TV shows or whatnot, but we'll face that issue when we get there. Either way, hope you guys enjoyed. If you have seen these, let me know your ranking down below and what you think is the best. If you have not, I want you to watch them. Come back here and let me know that down below, because I love sharing these movies with people, especially if it's like, if I could share it with people who have not seen them before. But that's about it for this one. If you stuck around this long, I appreciate it. I will see you guys when I cover Phase 2.